You're standing still while everything else seems to be moving at high speed. It's a specific, quiet kind of isolation that often signals your current path has finally run out of room for you. This is the in-between. It's a psychological gap where your old habits and past goals no longer fit who you are, but the new version of yourself hasn't quite formed yet. Stepping into this space strips away your usual routines. You wake up facing a heavy, uncomfortable vacuum where your daily sense of purpose used to live. Our immediate instinct when facing this emptiness is to look outward for a compass. We pick up our phones and scroll through the highly curated lives of peers who all seem to have everything figured out. We weigh our own invisible internal chaos against everyone else's polished external highlights. That lopsided comparison leads to the conclusion that we are uniquely broken. This sense of being directionless is a systemic processing issue caused by the modern environment. This diagram illustrates how modern abundance breaks our navigational instincts. Historically, life followed a single, largely predetermined path. Today, that timeline abruptly splits into dozens of tangled, overlapping possibilities. We face a staggering amount of choices about who to be, where to live, and what to do. To map this chaotic environment, your brain calculates every potential route at once, jumping erratically between overlapping paths to find the correct one. The human mind struggles to map infinite, simultaneous timelines. When it fails, that biological overload translates directly into a heavy, physical sensation of being directionless. That processing error is magnified when applied to monumental life decisions, like career paths or long-term relationships. The sheer volume of choice becomes incredibly heavy. When exposed to this much high-stakes data, your nervous system often deploys a biological defense mechanism, analysis paralysis. Your mind hits the brakes to protect you from the risk of moving blindly. You start overthinking every detail, endlessly playing out potential futures in your head. This mental simulation is an attempt to predict the outcome of every choice and avoid the possibility of making a wrong decision. We carry a concern that committing to one specific path means instantly discarding the potential of every other timeline we could have lived. We wait for a guarantee before making a move. Because certainty of the future is impossible to obtain, this search for it results in complete life stagnation. This internal loop creates a visible, real-world behavioral consequence, a total lack of action. Our desire for certainty loops continuously into information gathering, entirely bypassing the action step because we refuse to choose without knowing the outcome. This inaction starves the brain of real-world data, compounding the internal confusion until it feels permanent. This state of being lost functions as a self-imposed holding pattern. We remain at the crossroads, waiting for a map that doesn't exist. The drive to look for external maps is often rooted in a disconnection from oneself. When you spend years scanning the horizon for what society expects or what trends dictate is a successful life, the noise eventually silences your own internal intuition. Psychologically, this period functions as a hard reset. It's a threshold where your mind begins to shed the habits and expectations of a path that no longer fits you. The intense discomfort of this phase provides the friction required for genuine personal growth. Breaking this paralysis requires relieving the pressure to draft a flawless 10-year plan today. Clarity arrives through movement. Action precedes clarity. Taking one small, authentic step into the unknown provides the real-world feedback that overthinking cannot generate. Wandering is a required, temporary phase of discovery. Discovery takes time, and it requires you to be okay with being nowhere for a little while. The search for meaning is a continuous process of searching and evolving. If you've ever felt the friction of this phase, like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments below.